What's up, everyone? I'm Sofiya Pasternack, an award-winning author and mental health professional, and this channel is all about the intersection where writing meets psychology. I also post stuff about my author journey, baking bread, and outdoorsy stuff. If you're new here, make sure you subscribe so you're notified when I post a new video. Today we're going to talk about outlining. Yay, I love outlining, but what about if you don't love outlining? What if outlining ruins this story for you and you just want to write it so that you can get it out? And outlining's for losers, right? Well, nah, not exactly. What if I told you that you can outline after you're done writing? Hang on. Wait, what? How do you outline after writing? Isn't the point of it to outline before and so then write your story based on the outline? Why would you go through all of the rigmarole and pain of writing an outline after you're done? Let me tell you. So there are two types of writers, right? There are plotters and there are pantsers. And in the middle, there are plantsers, but they're kind of losers and we don't like them. I'm totally a plantser. So the plotters write a big outline beforehand and the pantsers don't write any outline at all. And the plantsers kind of muck around in the middle and they do whatever. Hey, pantsers, I have news for you. You still outline. You just do it after you've written your first draft. You know, it's probably your first revision. Ew, no, gross, what? Yuck, outlines, I hate those. You don't have to hate them though. Outlines can be your friends. So outlining after you've written your story is a great way to revise that draft, and it might be the thing that helps you figure out why a scene didn't work, or why a character fell flat, or why part of the manuscript feels draggy and crappy. I'm gonna talk to you all today about how to outline after you've already finished writing your draft. Or maybe even halfway through. But you've already started writing, you're a pantser, and you all of a sudden go, you know what, I think I might need a little bit of direction. So here we go. Open up your manuscript document right now. I'm gonna show you how I do mine in Microsoft Word, but the features I'm gonna use are available in a lot of word processors. So Scrivener has a version of this. Google Docs has a version of this. I don't use Notepad because I'm not an animal. Microsoft Word, Google Docs, and Scrivener all have a version of this tool I'm going to show you how to use. So you go into your document and you click on the page count button at the bottom and you open up this sidebar that's on the left here. You're going to select the document map option. It's going to be blank probably. That's fine. We're going to add stuff to it. So now go and we're going to find our outline pieces. But how do you find your outline pieces? What does that even mean? If you have not watched my 7-point plot method video, it's a pretty great video and I'm going to kind of go over it right now. But I kind of want you to go and watch that to get more deep into it. I want you to think of the hook as the thing that gets the reader hooked. It keeps them reading and it gets them to stay with your book and your characters. And this is what's special about your particular story, your particular characters. Find that spot in your manuscript and highlight the chapter title that it is in. I don't want you to highlight the whole hook because that's really long, and the document map works best when you just do a title or something like that. So, and then I want you to go up to the top and open up the styles pane. So the styles are stuff like heading 1, heading 2, blah, blah, blah. Don't just click on any of those because it'll change your font all around and it's gross and ugly. So first, right click on heading 1 and select update heading 1 to match selection. So that will turn heading 1, it will still flag stuff as heading 1, but it won't change it into a big heading, it won't change your font or your size or anything like that. So you update it and then you select it. Select your hook 1 thing as heading 1. And you will see in the document map pane, the title has popped up. Hooray! Now go find plot turn 1. And plot turn 1 is also known as the call to adventure, and it's the thing that pulls your character into the adventure. It's the point at which your character has crossed into the adventure world and is no longer in their comfortable old world, and it kind of sucks. They don't like it, usually. So find that chapter that it's in and highlight the chapter and select heading 1. So you don't have to update it this time, just select heading 1 and it will add it into that pane. Pinch 1 is what we're going to go to next, and that's the antagonist showing up. That is the first time we meet the antagonist, and they show up and they knock all your main character stuff over and they laugh and they walk away. So mark that in. Same thing, highlight the chapter title that it is in and add that into your document map. And next up is the midpoint. And so midpoint, right, 50% into the manuscript, but that isn't the only thing that determines what the midpoint is. The midpoint is that point of the story where your character is going to make the shift from reaction into action. They're going to become the active participant in the story. I don't plot based on things that happen. I plot based on my character's emotional arc. So for me, the midpoint is that point in the story where my character has kind of come to this crossroads and they're equal parts sold on their lie and seeing the truth. And if you haven't watched my Schemas overview video, you should go watch that so that you can kind of get in the know about what a lie and the truth is. So, but this is kind of the midpoint where they half believe the lie, but they're half sold to the truth. And as we pass the midpoint and start moving into the second act, or the second half of the second act, we get into more and more the truth. After the midpoint, pinch 2 is when the antagonist comes back. And the antagonist is back. It's 100 times worse than the first time, and they have basically beaten your protagonist down and ruined everything. This is the jaws of defeat. Everything is terrible. And it leads into plot turn 2, which is it's the dark night of the soul / when your protagonist finds the thing they need that will allow them to defeat the antagonist. Not the protagonist, the antagonist. So they're at their very, very, very lowest point, and in this lowest point, they find the thing they need to defeat the antagonist. So that is plot turn 2. Pinch 2 leads into plot turn 2, and then plot turn 2 leads into the resolution. Now, this is not the ending of the story. This is the fulfillment of that dramatic or thematic promise that you made at the beginning. So with the hook, you made a promise to your reader, and now you are fulfilling that promise. This is not the ending. That comes after, like the denouement, all of that comes after this point. This is probably 10% from the end, and you need to deliver on that promise. If we are plotting the character arc way, the way that I do it, this is the point at which your character has completely abandoned the lie, and they have fully embraced the truth, and they have become their fully realized, actualized self. Now that you have all those points marked out, you have a little roadmap of your story, and you can see, you can kind of line it up and see how far out things are spaced, whether your midpoint happens too early or too late, and whether you missed a point altogether. But you know what? I am willing to bet cash dollars that you didn't miss a point if you're a pantser, because pantsers generally have a knack for hitting all these plot points intuitively. So I bet you found them all just fine. I bet you have all of them. Some of them might need some tweaking and some work, but you know what? Nobody's perfect. But yeah, so that's how you can plot your novel. You can outline your novel after you've already written it. And it's a good revision technique because a lot of times I used to be a pantser and I would write a whole novel and then it would be a hot mess. And since I'm a brat about revisions, I just would never revise it. And I would just be like, well, I guess it's a mess. And I would continue on with my life. So I had to start outlining first so that I could actually write a draft that made sense, because I am terrible at revising. So I have all of these tips and tricks about how to make revising easier. And this is one of them, is if you write, your freewheeling, go nuts first draft and it's kind of a hot mess, this is a way to go through your very first revision and say, okay, where's my hook? Where's my plot turns? Where's my pinches? And kind of arrange those up. And if you have some of them flopped or backwards or, interchange, like that's fine. Okay, we'll move this over here and this over here, and bada boom, bada bing, and now we have a good arc going on. So, yep, I hope this video was helpful, and that's all for me. If you liked this, please give me a thumbs up so I know to make more videos like it. If you're interested in videos about how to use psychology with writing in order to create really cool characters, or you're a big story theory nerd and you want to listen to me talk about my nerdy story theory stuff, subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell so you get notified whenever I post a new video. And if you know any writers in your life that you think could benefit from this stuff, please share it with them. I would really appreciate it. And that's all from me. Have a nice day.